At the BTS, the behind the scenes look.
Yeah. No, I turned it off. We're doing it again. Good morning, everybody.
Yay.
We'll try this again.
On this episode of Duante's Remix.
Fuck
Remix.
you. Not taking
We're
you
brought to
shit.
you tracks from California. Summer hits.
You guys aren't shit, okay?
Follow us on SoundCloud.
Nobody likes you, Janejira.
I would say a whole lot of people like me, actually.
I love how Janejira is pinned too.
Yo. How you guys doing? Welcome. Good morning. Sorry about that, everybody. We had a little technical difficulties. Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I'm doing good. We're gonna bring the energy, Duante.
Yeah, we got this.
I don't believe you, Paul.
Okay, well you shouldn't. So you shouldn't believe me. So you know, you can't hurt me. So.
Oh my god. Anyway, this is your boy Duante Suitman Barnett. Hair's out. Hair's all fucked up. It's brighter than usual. You know why? Because I'm in California. I'm in Paso Robles. Make some noise for that.
California dreaming.
It's funny. I performed in Atascadero last night. Yeah, that's the same thing I thought. I don't know in a fuck it's at either. It's out in bumfuck Egypt. Yeah, I will tell you though. I was the only black guy for miles, so it was. I performed at the Colony Tavern. I felt like I was at the Colony. That's for damn sure.
That's a funny name.
I was not happy about it. Let me tell you. But anyways, we've got a great guest today. We've got magician Paul Kilmer. Everybody, make some noise for that. Or not?
Yeah.
Yay! As always, we've got our new moniker, our usual host. Give it up for the polite kitty. And then on the ones and twos, DJing, hit the special effects. Give it up for Janejira.
Hello, it's your boy, the potato chip enthusiast, who's now on Patreon. Woohoo!
Yeah. Always with the self plug.
Yeah.
Always got some shameless plugs. Gotta get them in. She's learned from me.
Business.
I like it. Right. And then last but not least, give it up for our guest today, Mr. Paul Kilmer.
How you doing? Hey, what's going on?
So we always do this. We always start with a little starting topic. So our topic today is, well, let's just put it out there. How has comedy been in the last year for you? Because we're all comedians, we're all entertainers, and this is a group discussion. How do you feel like the pandemic's affected your career?
Honestly, I have a different outlook on it than everybody else because I was performing live comedy before the pandemic. Oh, by the way, hey guys, it's me, Paul.
Hi.
I was performing comedy before the pandemic and things were going kind of good. I was kind of new and the pandemic hit and I switched over to doing completely virtual things. There was a learning curve, but I think I was more popular online than I was in real life, and now I'm killing it in real life. I feel real good about myself. So I performed last night. I confused a bunch of people. It's great. Um, any night that I get to terrorize an audience is a good day.
Yay!
Always. Do you want to go, Janejira? Or
Well, there's not a whole lot of comedy that's been happening for me, but you know,
No,
I've
don't
been
let her
thriving on
bullshit.
TikTok.
She did comedy before the pandemic, at least
I
once or
did
twice. So don't let her
actually.
lie to you. Okay?
Way back in the ancient times when life was good, I would go to Cafe Red once every month and be like, hey guys, let me tell you about the Eshinasalan real quick. And then my partner was like, oh, you're a comedian, huh? And I was like, actually, I did comedy a few times for real. And I will never shut up about it.
I love it. It was the few times.
Yes. I always
Aren't
hit
you
him with the
running some
puns.
major company these days, Janejira?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm the creative director of Atomic Heat Media, and we're working on an animated series. We have a Patreon, and our website is still there. Hit up AmericanKintsugi.com. Yay!
Yes, that's actually really cool. I love looking. I actually follow and I love looking at behind the scenes and how everything is done and storyboarding. So all your creative types out there, go check it out. It's really fun. Even your
Yes.
stimmy types. I love the videos.
Oh yes.
What about you,
So,
Audra? Aren't you like doing comedy now? Like you're totally the opposite.
yeah. Yeah, I decided to get into comedy in the past year. I've been doing this for almost a year now. And so I started on Zoom. I've been the opposite of everybody else. And so live in person for me is happening recently. So I actually do really well in Zoom and I'm still learning how to be on stage. And it's weird, I don't get stage fright anymore. It's just all the nuances of just being on stage, again, that lighting, knowing your time. But I love it. I love storytelling, and I'm actually deciding to go into acting because I love it so much.
Yes.
So, and I recently
Yes,
did a movie.
bitch. Uh-oh, you did a movie.
Ooh.
Shameless plug. Get it out, get it out, get it out.
Yes.
It's just a small independent film. It's called Death Sentence, but I will get IMDb credit.
Yay!
What? Oh my god.
We're all out here thriving.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for my humble brag now. Let me join the conversation. So, I've added 2 podcasts, one that's transcontinental. We did this one. Am I breaking up again?
Oh
no! Yeah.
Every time.
I hate you guys. The timing of my connection going out is horrible, right? That's why it keeps wanting to pick up my phone
We need
instead
some
of
like
just
beats.
You guys are horrible to me. I don't want to hear you. But it's funny. It's because I feel like I've gotten better. For me, it was the idea of doing comedy online, meeting people like Paul, meeting people like Juliana, meeting people all over the place has made it easier. And then not only that, but so the guy I performed for, Rick was on the Match Game, right? And so I'm able to meet people and have them see us before we get there. I know Paul knows what I'm talking about. He's got some bookings just from being online. People have seen him and seen he does comedy, and now he's able to get booked in person because they've seen him on Displaced or things like that. So I think for most people, if you went into Zoom trying to be better, you got better. If you went into Zoom saying it was garbage and I don't want to do this and nobody laughs at my jokes, well, guess what? It was garbage. Nobody laughed at your jokes. You know what I mean? Like I think you got out of it what you wanted. I think the scary part was just, and I don't think we've ever talked about this, but wondering how Zoom impacted schools for those like us. You know what I mean? But we're warmed up. We've got everybody here who's going to be here. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Yeah. I know we're all excited to talk to Paul, right? So, Paul, let me ask you. First question off the top: what's the biggest thing that's changed, I guess, for you since last time we talked to you?
I'm a hell of a lot more busier. I'm being booked for both magic and comedy, but more so magic comedy together. I love being on stage. I love interacting with the other comedians on the show. I try to bring as much energy as my brain has the ability to do. The character I play on stage is a little bit different than the person you're talking to now, but I feel like I've developed a really unique act. And like I said, I'm there to have fun. I'm there to network. I'm there to change people's perception of what a person with a disability is when I perform. So yeah, I mean, that's a great question.
And I would love to just point out that Paul, him and I have been on a couple shows together now. And there was one that he performed at what Juliana calls Stupid O'Clock when him and I were together performing. And talk about being autistic and people having the perception that we're not flexible. Okay. Because Paul gets on and he realizes that he's logged in late or something happened, but he was flexible enough to change it around. He got it and he did a wonderful set. And it was funny and engaging. And so that's what I mean is that autistics can be very flexible, just so you know.
She's not lying.
Slept was the issue. The show was for like 7. I think it's for like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up at like almost 9, and I was like, "Well, this is professional."
It was still good.
Well, yeah, I'll always bring it, and that's what I say when I deal with like showrunners. And Dante runs shows, and I try to be as flexible as I can because, especially when you're doing live shows, someone doesn't show up. You may have to do less time. You may have to do more time. There might be a problem with the mic. At live shows, I don't really have a problem walking around and doing close-up magic to keep people entertained until the next act goes on. So I try to be an asset to like a producer or a showrunner, because the last thing you want to do is ask them a question and they have like 6 different things that they're trying to do, because it's actually their neck that's on the chopping block. So I try to alleviate some of that stress just by being organized, actually going out there and fulfilling the job that I'm supposed to do, which is getting over on a crowd. Because being a showrunner and being a comedian are 2 different things. And Dante is a fantastic comedian and a fantastic showrunner, because I've been on his shows, and he puts a lot of work. And I can't tell you what it must be like to just be like, well, this person just bombed and now I have to go out and put this fire out. But
let's talk about that.
I always try to go out there and I always try to do my best.
So let's talk about that. It's funny. People always ask me, how do you handle when a comic bombs? And I'll tell you real simply. If you see a host do more than one joke, that probably means the comic bombed before him. Because we've got to find a way to get everybody to laugh, right? And have a good time before we can put on that next comedian. And so it's I don't know. I think the hard part is being autistic and being a producer and not letting people's face see that you think they suck. That is the hard part.
Yeah, and and I always say this. Unfortunately, what we do, you're not going to connect with every audience. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're likable, and you see, sometimes silence is funny. Sometimes I can go up there, I feel like I'm not connecting with the audience, and I have the ability to flip it around by changing the material I do.
Yes.
And it's my ability to read a room, which is different than other people's, because I'm of the school that I'm a comedian, so I should be able to make the audience laugh, because if you went to have somebody do your taxes and they couldn't do your taxes, there'd be a problem. So for me, comedy went from being like a hobby to like, oh, I need to make people laugh because it's my job. And I do that through writing, being organized, and making connections. Because before the show, I'm talking to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Before the show, I'm making sure I'm getting over. I'm not in the corner with my notebook doing notes, and I'm not punching down on comedians who do that. I'm just taking my skills as a magician, because here's the thing, I need to pull someone up on stage, especially
yeah.
from my end. They may not be comfortable with that. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of going through the audience and finding that one guy who doesn't mind being up on stage.
Ooh.
So the reason I'm not in the corner writing my jokes down is I guess I'm cheating. I'm interacting with the audience before I go up.
Now, see, I don't call it cheating, because I see it as, like you said, people reading. I like to do something similar, and I have crowd work that I have, written down or something saved up, because I think everyone who has seen my shows knows that my little niche that I've put in is I do sign language. So Paul has like magic, and I do the sign language stuff. So yeah, you have like that little backpack of tools.
And it's not even that for me. Coming from I'll give you an example. I used to work with a guy who would have me walk around various events for business people, and I would do card magic, and this would be like on their lunch break. And some of them might necessarily want like an awkward guy in a badly fitting suit to do card magic for them. So I kind of had to develop sort of kind of way to move in between different groups of people without seeming intrusive. And I think that's where magic really helped me with my autism, is because I will literally say anything for attention. And I had to take that and twist it, because from my own experience, most autistic people are introverts. I'm different. I'm autistic and I'm an extrovert. So
hey, hold on. You're not the only one, and I'm older. You're culturally appropriating my shit again. I'm just fucking. Go ahead.
I'm glad you told me you were kidding, because I didn't have a response for that. So
Well, that wasn't scripted.
Here's the thing, Paul. It's funny to me because a lot of people think you're Asperger's. How in the hell are you so outwardly going? I can't believe it. And I'm like, have you ever seen me? Like, my girlfriend took me to the aquarium and I almost shut down, and she had to grab my hand like a little kid and pull me in to get me to participate. And the same thing fucking happened yesterday. You guys just don't see me in my weak moments or my points. And so I think people don't always, they see you thriving. And I think they associate autism and being on the spectrum as just being socially unsuccessful. And I don't think it's always that we're socially unsuccessful. I think we're socially cautious, and we're not always good at engaging socially. It's not that we're not good once we do it. It's that we don't always know how to start.
Good start. Or we just don't know what, like we may express differently, and then they're misinterpreting it differently.
And there's actually there's a good reason why they feel that.
They're misinterpreting it differently.
And there's actually there's a good echo. Sorry, I thought that was happening somewhere else. So their perspective of what an autistic person is literally the movie Rain Man and stuff that they read in the last like 5 years about autistic people. And what happens is they're viewing you in that like 5 minutes, and they're judging your behavior on what they know in that 5 minutes. So I'm 38. I've had autism since I was born. I know, no duh, but here's the issue. Dante is right. They're not there when I was 9 and I couldn't talk to people. But that was when I'm 9. I'm 38. It took me like 30 years to become this way. Oh, I'm like, well, when I was 9, I was diagnosed with autism. And if you don't laugh at my jokes, you're a bad person.
Hey.
That's a bit, but it's born out of truth, because they only have what they perceive as autism, which is, and here's another thing, Rain Man. It's kind of like Rain Man is my Freddy Krueger. When Wes Craven created Freddy Krueger, he could not do another film. Everybody just wanted Nightmare on Elm Street, and everything else that he did after, no one cared about. They just wanted Freddy Krueger. So Rain Man did that for autistic people and made people aware that autism was a thing and that it was important. But we run the spectrum of personalities. So when you see me on stage and I'm I'm presenting as Paul, and I'm up there, and it's like, can you memorize phone books? And I was like, no, I can't. I have trouble with multiplication and I can't drive. That's the type of autism I have. So, and it's really hard not to get angry at people, because it's like they only have one view of what an autistic person is.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sad that people are still asking you this stuff or giving that impression. Like, phone books, really?
So yeah, it's very funny that people still know what a phone book is. But I think what it is that when I was growing up, autism was, to the certain extent, I only got diagnosed when I was 9. There was like a grace period. Every diagnosis has a grace period, and I'm reading about this, that it has to become culturally acceptable for someone with a disability to, it's like, I'm going to give you this, you're a performer. And what it is people only know what is presented to them. So when they see somebody who is presenting, it's like, oh, well, I tell people I have autism in the middle of my show, and they're like, no. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you can't tell me that I don't have autism. I think I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No.
I understand why they do it, because, like Dante said, I'm a little bit older, and I understand that people only have a very, very small. They only understand this much about autism. And I feel like when I'm on stage and I'm like, I I have this bit, not to run bits. I have this bit where people only invite me to their event, to their like Super Bowl party because they want me to entertain their guests for free. Which is something that happens to magicians. It's like, oh, well, do you want to come to Jimmy's 5th birthday party? Bring your balloon animals. And I was like, if you present me with a check for the amount of money we can predetermine.
Hey, I got one better for you. So yeah. We did our 20th high school reunion, right? And it was in 2019, right after I had started producing shows. And I had a little bit of success. Audra heard this story. And I told everybody, hey, for like $25 a person, I can get 4 or 5 other comedians. I can get a venue. I can even get a caterer. And they're gonna have games there, right? Like I had this whole space that like, it is about to be fantastic. And somebody was like, you're going to make some money off of this? Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea. We're going to do this at Classics, the same place we always do it at, like the class before. They're like, yeah, it's going to be $50 and there might be light hors d'oeuvres. And everybody was like, that's crap. Why aren't we doing that thing Duante talked about? So I stopped doing the whole fucking thing. I was like, fuck it. I'm not going. Fuck this thing. I cried. Day of, they called me and were like, we're not going to charge you, but we need you to show up. And I was, why? Well, if you don't go, other people probably aren't gonna go.
It's not your fault. That's not a Duante problem.
You need the token black guy to show up so everybody comes to our fucking reunion? Fuck you. And then I got there and just cried the whole time. I didn't know anybody. I didn't really want to talk to any of them. Yeah. They didn't know who the fuck I was. Yeah, it was fucking horrible.
Duante tried to get me to go. I was like, no, thank you.
It's like, you're not gonna support me in this, you asshole? He's like, nope.
And that's the thing. And the punchline to that joke is, it's like, yeah, I'll come to your Super Bowl party and I'll eat all your snacks and not do any magic for anybody. And then I'll start eating the food that isn't for the party and no one stops me. And then I'll go into your bathroom and steal your toilet paper. And I did that joke before the pandemic, and I had to take it out because it became something else. Speaking about being flexible and having to take something else, I rarely ever change my material. And I was like, well, maybe I should take this toilet paper bit out. I used to do a whole bit with toilet paper, and I realized people were just like staring at me, because the people who didn't laugh were the people who were hoarding the toilet paper. You had two groups of people who found it funny, and then you have the person like, I was scared, Paul. I was terrified. And it's like, but why toilet paper? Maybe like canned food or things that you could use that, because if the world ends, you're just assuming that your toilet's going to work. You know what I mean? I think things are going to change.
You're assuming you're strong enough to stop me from taking that toilet paper from you.
Yeah.
Right? There's the alpha side.
It's going to be. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's how this works. We all talk at the same time.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny because you'd see this little 110-pound guy stocking up on shit. I'm like, how many of your neighbors know that when the shit hits the fan, they're just going to come bully you for your supply?
Yeah. You can become the toilet paper baron. You can be like one of those shows in the dystopian future. It's like, here's the water baron, and here's where you get your food, and don't mess with the toilet paper guy.
Saya,
or he sits on his throne.
Saya, if I tell you a funny joke today, may I get the 2-ply toilet paper?
You just
that 1-ply just eats my ass. And I've always thought about it. If you fold the toilet paper twice, you now have tri-ply.
There you go.
See?
Yeah,
I can see that. It's like, if the world ends, I could do card tricks for you. Or it's like, we could just do, it's like, my name is Paul, and I'm the Baron of toilet paper. Give me all your canned food, and I will give you this paper for no reason.
Well, let me be serious for a second, because there's something I'm noticing. We both have merch on, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a shameless plug for your merch, but what it is you said something a couple minutes ago. You just do your jokes.
Yeah.
You just do your routine. And I think a lot of people, so many people, and Audra knows this, we talked about this, I even got in trouble for talking about this the other day, but so many comedians want to do so much different material. And Paul and I, we do the same thing every fucking time. I see Paul and I know what's coming next. All right. Now, depending on the length of the set, we change in and out what we do, right? Like sometimes you got a 10-minute set, you're not going to do all the jokes, right? Or all your tricks, right? But do you ever feel envious of those comedians that can go up and just do a new set every day?
Well, you know what's interesting is I'm becoming that person. I work really hard. What it is I work really hard on developing the stuff that I have. And because I got to develop the magic and make it look good, and I got to make it funny. So what happens is when I go to an open mic, I often bring new stuff, because the problem with magic is once you see the ending of the trick, you know what it is. And you're essentially surprising them. And so I bought a lot of new stuff that I'm developing now, but a lot of people don't realize I can do comedy without the magic. And sometimes I just appear at an open mic and just do jokes. It freaks people out. There's like, where's your blue case? Where's my magic, Paul? Like they need, like, I have the drugs that they want. Comedians love magic, and they're like, "Where's your case?" "Oh, I'm just working on these bits. And they just look at me like I hurt their soul. And I was like, "You started out not liking magic, and now you want the magic." I have the pornography that gets them hot, and
different show, Paul.
I will
Different
agree
show.
with that.
Different show, Paul. He's like, I got the magic that makes them wet, baby. I'll tell you that right now.
yeah.
I've never seen a magician on porn, so I mean, I think we've got to get some representation for you, Paul. We've got to do the whole porno or bow chicka wow wow.
I'm okay. I'm good, and
I'm good.
I'm not going to find anybody who is going to put up with this. So
Paul, this wasn't serious. He's like, I'm happily married. You're not fucking this up for me. He's like, hold on, when are we filming this? I know you're Suitman Productions and you're sitting on the couch. I don't want to sit on a couch. I'm not doing that interview. I'm not doing that.
It's a casting couch via Zoom.
Amazing. Jesus Christ.
It's like,
show me your money makers, Paul. Let's go. Let's get this going. Come on. Shake a little magic. Come on. Ooh. Oh, shit. We're horrible. It's fun because the thing I found, and I think you'll agree with this, I think magic is like comedy. Don't get me wrong. I can't tell the same jokes every week to everybody. They'll get disappointed. But at the same point, my girlfriend was saying, and even last night, she enjoyed the show because her sister was there and her husband. And she enjoys watching new people react to my material.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see. I guess that's the fun part is, and I think for because
moment when your audio cuts out.
Oh yeah, great. Don't you love it? This fucking reception I'm getting. But the reason why I hate it, I do the same jokes, is you gotta think, who was the guy, Mel Torme, the Julius Caesar, right? They asked him, how do you do Caesar every night? Like, how do you give such a great performance? And he was like, the audience doesn't know I've done this 5 million times. This is probably their first time seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem we have in comedy and magic as well, especially if you're not famous, is you're not taking yourself on the road enough to get in front of new people. And if you don't do that, then I got to come up with new jokes every day. Because I just saw Paul last week. I saw Paul the week before that. Paul's starting to know my bit. He's starting to tell me, yeah, hi, it's Dante, you know, D-U-A-N-T. He's mouthing the words. Now, if you go to a new city every weekend, or if you're going to a new open mic every weekend, or if you're challenging yourself, guess what? You don't have to do new jokes because they haven't heard them. And so I think that's the I love it how people are working hard, but it's like, dude, take a vacation, go to Vegas for a weekend, go see if you're funny in Vegas, right? Go to Bismarck, North Dakota. There's no open mics there, but just go stand on a corner with a hat, right, and do comedy on the corner in Bismarck, right? But I think that's the bigger challenge.
It's interesting that so go ahead.
I was gonna say it is a challenge because, you know, if you don't have the privilege to get out and do that, then it would be hard. And it also depends on your style too. I have jokes that I have up here memorized. I don't tell them the same every time, exactly the same, because that's not how my brain operates. My brain operates in this fluid motion of, okay, I know that time, I remember that time, and I'm just going to talk about that joke because I know it. I know it inside here, because what I have to focus on is my performance. I actually enjoy the performance piece to it. And I guess this is why Dante and I because our styles are different. And I'm very much a storyteller. And I get into that side of it almost.
Oh, you're going to tell on me now? She's like, this is why I yelled at him. I'm the one who yelled at him yesterday. That was me.
I just say his style. I love Dante's style. In fact, I've always come to his shows. I used to watch him, and, you know, when he would post them when he first started, I was like, you're good. You're funny. And yeah, it's just because he has the traditional, you know, he comes dressed the same every time, you know, in his suits. And so I love it. And it's just that, unfortunately, my style is just a little different. That's all.
I story tell too. I just, you know, and that's the funny part. I think we're all comedians in our own right. Even fucking Janejira. I don't give a fuck what she says. She's writing script for fucking anime and trying to be funny with it. That's fucking comedic. Fuck that bitch, right? But anyways, I know punk bitch, Janejira. But the funny part is there's so many different ways to do this, and I think I told somebody once, and I think the best advice I have given anybody, I think I even told you this, Paul, when you first started, was just keep being you, right? And I told Paul that, I told Audra that, I tell everybody that. They go, "What's your advice?" And I go, "Well, I do comedy the way I do comedy. I do Dante. Yep. You can't deliver the way I can't." Somebody heckled me about, "You sound like Bobcat Goldthwait. Do you do that on purpose?" It's like, I don't fucking know. I'm fucking fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, don't you start with me. Paul's over there chuckling. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Fuck you, Paul. But it's also, he's like, all right, when are you free? You gotta ask the wife, right? But group activity. Are you bringing your other half? Plus one. But so somebody took a comedy class locally, and this was hilarious because we had Tony Rock in town, Chris Rock's little brother, and he was telling everybody that you can't take a comedy class and become funny. Like, one comedy class isn't going to turn you into a comedian. Not even 5 or 6 or 7 comedy classes are going to turn you into a comedian. And then my response was, well, if you take Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club's comedy class, you're going to learn how to do comedy the way Nate Jackson does comedy. You're not going to learn how to do comedy the way Suitman does comedy, which may be similar, but not the same, right? You're not going to learn how Ellen DeGeneres does comedy or any of these other people. What you're going to learn is the way Nate does, which isn't bad, right? But there's so many different ways. And like you talked about, there's storytelling. Fuck, you can be a shitty magician and do comedy, right? I mean, yeah. I got Paul to look up. Paul didn't get response, but he gave me a little. I heard what you said, right? But that's also the funny part, is that's his character, and I'm glad he said that. Is that, and she brought up something. I show up in a suit and tie every time. Well, do you know why? When I walk in the room, everybody knows I'm big news. Not only that, but when I get on stage, they listen to me. At our show last night, I was in my pink Superman shirt and a pink whatever. I don't think everybody knew I was going to perform, but once I got on stage, I was able to command that presence that was necessary. The next comedian after me, everybody was quiet. They were listening to her, and it was like, well, fuck, it's easy when the big black guy scares everybody into being quiet to do comedy. Right? So I think it's all about your presentation, your style, but the biggest one, and I want everybody to hear this because I think all four of us here are good. Look at who's on this call. We've all done comedy. We've all been funny in our own right. And the reason why is because I'm funny for the people who identify with my story. Janejira was funny to the people who identified with her story. Audra's funny to the people who identify with their story. And Paul, like he said, he's found a little character where, I'm just this grumbling, stumbling comedian. I don't even know if this trick's gonna work. Oh shit, it worked. Ha-ha. Right? Even though he knows these tricks are gonna work. Right? Am I lying, Paul? Like that's
Nope,
like you said, that's everybody wants to see the magician that they think's gonna fucking fail. And who am I supposed to, I gotta be half-assed clown / magician, even though I'm a professional and I've put all this thought into these things, right? I still got to be the token black guy and talk about how I'm mixed and kind of shuck and jive a little bit, right? And that's just kind of what it is.
Yep.
Well, guess what? We got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
We'll do it a little early. It's my least favorite time of the fucking show. Give it up. I'm going to put Janejira.
Yes! It is the best part of the show, everybody. Welcome to the lightning round. I think you know how this goes. We're going to ask you some questions, and they're going to be absolutely amazing.
Because we've totally thought about this.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. All right. Continue, Janejira.
Oh, here's a good question I thought of.
You didn't finish explaining it. What does that mean?
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I get excited. Well, we just asked you like a few questions that are fun, and then a few questions that are more like, hello, this is a podcast about autism. Can we go back to talking about that real quick? And then we close off the show. So here's a fun question, though. If you were a starburst, what flavor would you be, and why?
Yellow.
Ooh, why?
Because no one would eat me.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Oh my God. Hey, best answer in the fucking world. You said yellow starburst, and I was like, he doesn't want anybody touching him. That's the autistic answer if I ever heard it. Like, I'm gonna be yellow. I don't want anybody touching me, biting me, licking me. Just leave me the fuck alone.
I'm gonna be the oddball here. I love the yellow starburst.
You fucking would. You fucking
Same.
would. Looks like you had an edible this morning too. Her edibles kicked in.
I have an edible every day. I would hate for anybody to take like my actual drugs. All right, so I guess I have to ask the socially typical question. What is your favorite travel destination?
Museum.
Which
That's a good
museum?
answer.
I hate Paul and I love Paul at the same time. Paul's just like, yeah, all of them. I don't know. I guess like, fuck, whatever works, right? Like, go ahead. What's the last museum you went to, Paul? How about that?
The Peabody Museum, and they have a really good dinosaur exhibit, so I'm all about it. And I like the Boston Museum of Science, and I don't really travel outside of New England, so any museum in New England, I guess.
Ooh.
We need to get Paul to the West Coast, get him a tan.
Yeah.
I want to get Paul high on some good weed, then see him try to do his magic, see what happens. Next question.
This is perfect. On the topic of dinosaurs, though, what was your favorite dinosaur to see in the museum?
All of them. I like I like the Stegosaurus. I like it.
The Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
See, I love the Stegosaurus. I feel it's the only dinosaur other than the Ankylosaurus and the Triceratops that can defend themselves, right?
That's true.
Well, the Ankylosaurus. They have the
It's
big tail.
Ankylosaurus, not Ankylosaurus. There's
Yeah. All
why
right.
why Stegosaurus for you, Paul?
I just like its back panels. I think it makes it unique. You know.
I like the tail.
Oh no, yeah, the tail. Yeah, but because I could talk about dinosaurs all day, and I know all of us can. So
Paul's like, I'm not falling for it. I'm not gonna start talking just so you can cut me off. I'm not doing it, Dante. You're not getting me this morning. I want to talk about dinosaurs. I want to talk. You're not doing it to me. We only got 10 minutes. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Next question. Next question.
I don't want to. What has been your favorite book to read?
All of them.
Actually, my favorite book to read, it's in the other room, but it's Ghosts of New England. I like ghost stories, and I like history, but I like haunted history, depending on what you believe or not. It's just like a book that tells you where all the haunted locations are.
Ooh.
And most of them you can't go to because they're like abandoned mental hospitals and stuff like that. But you know, it's fun to read about the history of places.
I love haunted history. That's one of my special interests.
So my new one is I want to start going to nuclear sites. But then when they reopen them, that shit is fucking. I don't know. You see the meter, and like I watched it where they're going through Fukushima. Was it Fukushima, or I don't remember where they're at, but yeah, they were going through with the meters, and they're like, "This is like 1.2 particles. Like we're getting radiation right now. This is not safe." And it just that would be cool to see the moment in time, like when Chernobyl blew in 60 whatever, and just see that place is still stuck in that moment. So yeah.
I bet y'all didn't expect this from me, but I've actually been to one of those like spooky abandoned mental hospital places one time. Because in film school, my friend was interested in that, so she drove us out to who knows where, Spookyville, real quick, and we explored. It was a fun time. I mean, I was scared, but you know, I'm here for it.
You know, it's so funny because you know when you go to those places, you don't really have to worry about the ghosts. It's the homeless that live in the building. Nothing against like homeless population, but literally in every book on ghost hunting, it literally has a section that says you probably shouldn't go into this because there might be people, and you know, you might stumble across a rave from the 90s, or you might you might burst in on somebody sacrificing something to the Dark Lord. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it happens more than. It's like I watch too many horror movies, but you know,
the real horror is the real people.
Thank you. Yes.
But it's
you
like,
guys are hilarious.
It's funny because it's just like I just like to read about like different places, and you know, all history is bad. Literally all history, no matter what point in history you go to, it's bad. It's bad for people. It's you know,
No.
you know,
Let's get this right. It's bad for non-white people. Like there's a couple times in white history where they're like, yeah, conquered another land, took some more gold, we got some slaves.
Ready to dump some tea in the water.
Yeah. Paul's like, I'm not okay with this rhetoric. Your body language says a lot, Paul. You crossed your arms.
Okay. I've come to terms with my white guilt. And
I mean, I feel it though, because like the ancestors on my dad's side, they were on the Mayflower, and I was like, oh, that's a little awkward for me.
we're not going to tell people that.
Yeah, right.
Well, for me, I found out most of my white family, they're all immigrants. They never owned slaves. I actually found that out. So for me,
You have no guilt.
I don't mind being white now. I'm fourth generation Norwegian on one side, right? The other people didn't own slaves. Like, I don't have that worry that one side of my family used to own the other side of my family at one point in history. That could be kind of awkward. You know what I mean? Like, you know, your great grandpappy was owned by your great uncle on the other side. No, I did not. No, I did not. That's fucked up.
I've just decided to celebrate all Irish heritage. I'm Irish. That's what I am now.
Yay! It's your month now.
Do you know the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral?
Oh gosh, I got. All right, Dante, go ahead.
One less drunk.
Hey.
Classic.
Where's our sound effects? Dun, dun, dun. I think we had 2 more questions. What were other 2 questions? You guys only got to 4.
Oh,
I can't do math. I'm not a math Asian.
She said, I'm not a math Asian. Like, I
It's
can't
true.
drive and I can't do math. Fuck you.
But I can do your nail. You want to quit the jail?
Oh, no. You want your
Now
nail
you're
done?
breaking up.
They're like,
My
we're
wife-
canceling Jane. She did the bad Asian accent.
Yeah. My Wi-Fi was like, not today, bitch.
Do you have a question for us today, Paul?
No. I think the question I like to ask people is, if you were a hot dog, would you rather prefer ketchup or mustard on you?
I'll answer that one. This one's simple. I love this question. So, I'm a ketchup and relish hot dog. Got to add the relish in it so you can get a little tang, a little zip. I'm a little sweet. I'm a little tart, and I stand out. So you do the ketchup and relish. I'm a ketchup and relish dog. Just saying.
Okay.
Audra, polite puss. I mean, kitty. Sorry.
Well, wrong show.
well, I am a vegetarian, so I'm going to have to go with the meatless, just ketchup hot dog because I guess I am very vanilla.
You know they make tofu hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to just fill it with the bun with ketchup. You can add something in the bun. You're allowed to have that.
Well, sometimes I don't need the hot dog. Sometimes I only like the bun.
Hey. Spicy.
Wrong show, ladies. Wrong show. What the fuck?
Well, here's an answer that I don't think y'all will like. I don't like either of those options because I put potato chips in my hot dogs and then add some pickles. And that is how I eat my hot dogs. So that's my answer.
No way. The potato chip enthusiast, like, I put potato chips on my hot dog.
Yeah. Because forget the
I
other condiments. They're not as good as a potato chip.
Well, I don't think potato chips are a condiment, but you know what? We here at this podcast support your potato chips.
Yeah.
So I talk for everybody.
Paul, we don't.
Okay.
I tell her all the time. Fuck her potato chips. Stop speaking. That's very white of you to speak of me for me, Paul. Tired of you doing this shit. You're over here mansplaining.
You just wait till the day we get a potato chip sponsor. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen one
son
day.
of a bitch. We get a potato chip sponsor. Jane's gonna be throwing potato chips at me. We're gonna be making it rain potato chips. Just Pringles for everybody.
Yes. Oh my god, if we had our own brand of potato chip, I could just die happy. That would be so great. That's my ultimate achievement. Forget everything else I did. I'm the potato chip enthusiast brand.
When we have the Suit Man weed strain, that's when I've made it. That's when I've made it.
Yeah.
I'm the type of chili dog that costs $13 at a baseball game and then gives you diarrhea.
Make that money though.
Yeah, I mean,
He said, "I'm the hot dog. It costs a lot," and then just runs through you. Oh my God, that's a great way. That's a great place to end. It's 9 o'clock, everybody. We made it
Woohoo!
again. And in case anybody forgot, I just want to let everybody know we still are on 98.3 KMWV. If Potato Chip Enthusiast ever edits our episodes, you'll hear new episodes on that radio station. If she doesn't, you'll just hear the same 3 all the time. Anyways,
Woohoo!
unfortunately, we're not going to be doing the Salem Summer Arts Festival this year. Got a little ahead of ourselves,
No.
but we're looking at doing an arts festival. Suitman will look into it. We'll figure it out. Good news though. It's a double dip day. Every first Sunday, you get 2 shows. So we've got Miss Crazy Ass, Debbie Wooten, on Dating with Disabilities in about 3 hours. You are not going to want to miss that one. This is going to get a little risque. I guarantee you that.
Yes.
Anyways, give it up for our guest today, the funny, the one and only Jurassic Paul.
Woo!
Yes.
I didn't know if he glitched or if that's just Paul. He's so good at being still. Give it up for the polite kitty. We'll call her something later, but on this show, it's just the kitty. And by the way, she's got a new logo. Thanks to the Potato Chip Enthusiast.
Yes. Support me on Patreon at Janejira Draws. Each of my tiers are named after different boba teas because that's how Asian I am. Let's go.
I'm so black, I'm still not seeing my kids or paying my child support.
Oh,
How about
shit.
that?
No.
it's not a competition.
Oh,
Oh,
shit. Fuck you,
shit.
Paul. See,
Okay.
Paul is the whitest one. He had to talk over the minorities. It's not a competition. We all get participation awards. Yeah. Hey, this is Duante Suitman Barnett. We're in fucking Paso Robles. Hey!
Woohoo!
Shout out to Emily, Chet, and Denise for having me and hosting me. We did Autastic Artists in their house, so thank you again. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in 3 hours with Dating Disabilities. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Autastic Artists.